Welcome back. So after a big push on the last few weeks of the year, we finally got the Camaro trim finished. A lot of the stuff I already showed you in the last video. It's just now been completed. So sit back and let me walk around and show you what's been done. All right, where to start? I love the stance of this car. And it's not really until I got to this workshop that I could actually stand back and look at it. It was always on the hoist at mine or too close to other cars, but geez, I love it. Love the shape. All right, I think where we left off last time were we had the windscreens put in, then I could get the scuttle back in, put all the washers in, put the wiper arms, well, had to modify the wiper arms because this whole mechanism was a Commodore, of an early Commodore, and these wiper arms here were too long, so I had to cut them down, drill out the rivets, unpick it, cut that arm and slide it in, re-riveted it, and got them painted. And I'm just so happy how this interior has turned out. I wasn't too sure, but I'll cover that in a second. Let's just go around to the back and show you the other stuff that was getting done, which were the taillights. So the original taillight, these are the lenses. You can see they're all red, and in Australia we need to have an orange blinker. So what I got done, or what we got done, we got these cut out with Perspex and did the same sort of trim effect, so the same sort of shape. And so there's two layers there. There's an opaque backing, and then there's a black on the top, and just glued them together. And give them a quick coat of clear with a bit of black in it, just to tint them a bit. And then I put bulbs, orange bulbs, red bulb, white bulb. So we've got blinker, brake parker, and reverse. So we are nice and legal now. Other things I did, well, I put a boot release at the back, and then you can see the carpeting. All of this, let me get this out of the way. Managed to get a C-Tech battery charger to match the paint. This is pretty cool. Let's get all this stuff out and just show you what we did in here. So I sheeted all this in with aluminium, folded it up, and then made this panel as well. Had to step it down because this is the fuel filler. And this is just a mat, and you can still lift this up. You can still get to the fuel pump in there and the center unit if you need to. And if you want to get to the air tank, you can pull this little tag here, and that whole rear wall comes out. It's just held in there with magnets. But yeah, this has come up really nice. Batteries in there, the air conditioning compressor is in there, and then we've got the battery charger already mounted in there, and that can just be tucked under the carpet. So when you want to charge it, just plug it in. Well, let's go to the inside now, and we can show you what it looks like now. And then let's just get stuck into turning the power on. And oh, I can show you this too. So this was the Prestige Performance. They did the wiring in this, and they came up with this idea that the owner really wanted a keyless way of getting in. His actual idea of what he wanted was, when he first approached me about this car, when the owner first approached me about this car, he said he wanted a AMG Merc, or to spend that kind of money on his dream car. So this is it. This is his dream car. And the thing about the Merc is that he wanted all the mod cons that a new car has in this old car. And one of them was this. So this is a little fob, keyless entry, no button on it. It just works on a sensor, I suppose like a perimeter. And in one of the other videos, I showed you all the aerials that go in the car. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up because you can't have anything metal in front of it. So on a dash like this, it's metal. We could tuck one up in there. We could tuck one in here. And then there's one actually behind the seat, these aerials. And then the transmitter needed to go behind the dash, but we couldn't put a piece of steel in front of it. So that's why my brother came up with this idea of an acrylic panel that covers the transmitter. So what happens is that when you walk away, it locks. And then when you come near it, no button. You see the popper, see, it comes up. And then you get inside with the nice king dig handles. And you can see that this will light up when we get close. And when we turn that on, accessories, these things light up. This music's gonna come. And then we've got these lights that come all the way around. We've got little map lights up there. My brother printed up that whole light. So from the lens to the outer, all printed. The back ones were printed. These little seatbelt things, plastic things, they were printed. So much. He loves his printer. And you can see the light just shines down. These vents from Resto Mod Air, they come with whatever color you want light, but they only have the one color, whereas the lights that we put in, you've got any color you want. Blue, purple, you can even have it go to the music, so when you can make it look like it's a kebab shop. But yeah, just for this purpose, we'll go red. And we'll put this in the glove box. So once we're in here, this glove box slides over everything. So it hides all the buttons, nice and smooth. Get to all your stuff in there, and then when you want to, you've got there's magnets in here which stop it sliding. They'll lock it in one spot, and then you have all your buttons, your windows, boot release, wipers, lights, all that stuff in there. And then you get back one more, and then that's the air controls, the air tank, airbags, and that stuff. Then let's show you. When you turn it on, the Motec dash lights up. Yeah, looking pretty good. The only thing we've got to do, this is when it's going back to the auto electricians, they've just got to program a few things. The windows are very quick, but they also trip out. So we've just got to, I think they up the amperage to how much they can draw, and then they slow down the motors just by programming, which is pretty cool. And they've got to put in a mechanism to show what gear you're in, the selector, because I got rid of the selector here, and yeah, it's just a little rod that goes underneath on the side of the gearbox, and then it'll tell the Motec or the Motec dash what gear you're in. So yeah, got a touchscreen there. Got the park brake over here, push button park brake, start stop, push button. When you want to start it, you put your foot on the brake, and then the light goes green, then it starts. That's looking good. One thing about these was I was noticing how they were doing everything. Kalen did the seats. So once the seats were made for the front, he could copy that design on the back, and you saw in the last video foaming it up and stuff like that. But with the door trims and the front kicks down there, and then the back panels, let me just show you the light. So one thing I noticed, how they did this seat's going to be in the way, isn't it? So when I was watching them do the door trims, my brother was doing the door trims, he made the door trims first and got all the pleats lined up and everything, and then marked the pleats onto the back panel and got them to line up, and then use, when he marked it all out, then you had to get, let me show you that, the speaker grill, all those little holes in it, you had to laser cut that out in the same piece. Make sure they didn't stuff that up, because you have to do the whole thing again. In the back also, we put lights, because you always need lights in the trunk. One cool thing that I did, I got to do my own little bit of trimming, which was this piece in here. So I had to cut this out just to block all the, you can see all the mechanism in there. So I trimmed a little bit of plastic, cut it all out, and trimmed that and glued that in. So now I'm a qualified trimmer. Now, one thing I wasn't going to mention, but it was always the big thing that the owner hated, was the seat belts hanging down in the window line. And yes, I get it, the pillarless design looks good when it's free from all that, but this was the compromise on this car. Well, there were so many compromises on this car, but one of them was legally you can't have the lap sashes anymore. You need to have the inertia reel up high. It's got to be over your shoulder. It couldn't come from here like some early cars. They come from here, but it goes up and over, and it pulls on your shoulder, pulls it down. It's not legal. So this was the only thing I really could do. And it's one thing he doesn't like. So if you ever see him at a car show, don't ever mention it, okay? Thanks. Anyway, and the other thing I had to do, my bit of fab work, we make the kick trims. So this side was a lot wider than the other side, because they had aircon lines, you had the wiring, and I think the battery cable, the battery cable went underneath the console. But it was just a little bit wider. You can see how wide everything went here in that kick trim. And yeah, just folded up a bit of aluminium, and then made these out of aluminium too, just to go up to the pinch weld, front and back. And then got them painted as well. The other side. Yeah. So yeah, they look pretty nice. I was pretty happy with them. What else did I do while I was here? Under the bonnet, a few little fab things. I did mount the alternator before I left the old workshop. I had to make all these, well, I didn't make them. I got all these cut aluminium, but I made them out of MDF first and got it all set up. There's a little adjuster down the bottom. This is a pretty cool bracket, if I do say so myself. I bought one from the States for a big block for this car. Well, for a big block, but it was, because the motor's been pushed down and back, it was hitting on the cross member. So I just thought, well, let's just make my own. And that came out really good. The other little thing I did in here was just make some risers to hold the spark plug leads off all the pipes. Just some stainless steel bent up and bolted on. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is drive it out and give it a wash. Alright, just finished washing it for the first time. I love the back of this. That looks so tough. And I find you really get to know a car when you wash it. Nice clean lines, no sharp things to catch the rag or the sponge on. Looking good. It needs a really good buff though, but at least it's clean. I think the next time we'll see this car might be a bit of engineering, and hopefully we're going to take it out on the road. I'm very excited for that, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for sticking with us. If you did, I'll see you next time. Bye.